So I was born in, wait, how did I forget I was born? All right, next one, whatever. So, bro, why isn't this recording? It's so dumb. Oh, no, I'm just recording. So, I'm not even gonna do this one, I'm gonna just do the next one. Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean, and today I'm going to be answering 8 questions that you guys left on Instagram asking about my life, my lifestyle, and who I am as a person in general. But before I start that, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to keep supporting the channel and for me to keep providing content for you guys coming forward. Alright, first I just want to start by saying, like, appreciate you guys for sending all the questions. I tallied up all the questions, about 105 questions that you guys sent me on Instagram, so appreciate that. However, I can't answer all 105 questions. That's literally going to take me forever. And I'm not going to lie, some of the questions is a little wild that I'm not going to throw in here just because, like, I got people, moms. And
what do you mean by that?
And other people watching rather than just that type of audience. So I ain't even going to throw those on there. Maybe on a close friends or something. So we're going to leave that out. However, I am going to answer these 8 questions that you guys provided for me. I went through every single one. I tried to respond to all you guys who sent a question. So, alright, bet. So starting off with the first question, I'm going to read them off my phone because obviously I don't have them memorized and all that. I'm not that talented, but let me get there. So, the first question is, where are you from? Maryland or Jersey? Because I'll be getting confused sometimes. But I was born in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Then I moved to Maryland when I was in like the 5th grade or so. However, you can't really be born in Asbury because Asbury doesn't have a hospital. So I was born in Jersey Shore Hospital in Neptune City, New Jersey, which is like probably like 5-10 minutes away from Asbury. Then when I moved to Maryland, it was in the 5th grade. Alright, second question. It is, so far, what are you most proud of within yourself? Alright, I feel like that's a tough question. But I would say that I'm kind of living out my dream. I had a whole plan since I was little on how I wanted things to go, how, like, what school I would go to or what events would take me to this path. Like, I always wanted to be in the NFL. I always wanted to play football. I always wanted to graduate with good grades. I mean, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon when I was little, but I don't know where that went from. But I'm just glad that I'm kind of like still chasing my dreams and I'm still on a steady path. All right, question number 3. What's the biggest lesson you learned throughout your journey? I want to kind of break this down in like a life journey. So what I learned in life so far and also what I learned in my football journey. When we're talking about life, the one thing I learned is not like what you know, is who you know, and the importance of networking. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the degrees you want, you can have all these accomplishments, you can do whatever you want. If you're not building genuine relationships, if you're not building relationships organically, if you're not talking to people, if you're not sincere, it doesn't matter what tangible things that you have. That's never going to take you anywhere at the end of the day. But if you build those relationships and you're actually sincere when you're meeting people, that's going to benefit you way more in life than any degree or any accomplishment that you might have. So that's the one biggest takeaway that I took from life. And the one takeaway that I took from football is 2 things. Like, this is facts: leverage and confidence. When I'm talking about leverage, I'm talking about the fact, like, when you're at the top of your game, when you're performing, your stats is crazy, you're getting love from the people on your team, you're getting love from the coaches, you're getting love from the fans. Use that as your leverage. Don't limit yourself and don't just like be satisfied of just being the top dog. Create channels, create merch, talk to people, network, reach out to people for jobs. Do everything because you're in a position of leverage. People want to talk to winners. People necessarily don't want to talk to losers or talk to people that's not doing good for themselves. So if you have that leverage, constantly use that to benefit yourself. I'm not saying be selfish and forget everybody else, but when you have leverage, make sure you use that, because at the end of the day, people are more inclined to talk to somebody that got stuff going for them. If you don't got nothing going for you, them text messages coming in slow. Those responses ain't coming in as fast. So make sure you use your leverage. And as far for confidence, confidence dictates your playing style and your playing ability in football, period. If you don't have any confidence within yourself, and even sometimes the confidence that you fuel is through the people around you. If you don't have people motivating you, if they don't give you positive affirmation, you need to give that to yourself. I don't care if every single day you gotta put sticky notes on your mirror or remind you who you are. I don't care if you gotta talk to yourself before you wake up and get everything done, brushing your teeth and everything. But always constantly provide yourself positive affirmation and remind yourself who you are, because at the end of the day, the game of football is fueled by confidence. If you have confidence, nobody gonna stop you. And I don't care what position you play, if you're a coach, if you're a player, confidence is the main fuel that you will have to push you through life. And if you have that, everything else is gonna handle itself. Of course, you still gotta develop your skill and everything, but at the end of the day, leverage and confidence are the two things that I learned throughout football that's gonna push you forward. All right, question number 4. How did you manage to still have fun in college while being able to still do good in school? Honestly, I always put on my mind that I always had to handle my business first. Like, don't get me wrong, when it was time to go out, when it was time to go to parties and have fun and do whatever the case may be, I was the first one to do it. But at the end of the day, I always made sure that business was first. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was a stump and just did work all the time. Yeah, I'll be one of the first people to, hit my friends up like, oh, we out. But at the same time, I always made sure that I had all my stuff handled beforehand. A biggest quote that my mom kind of taught me when I was younger is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And basically that means like how you handle the small little details in life is gonna dictate how you do everything else. I'm not saying that applies to every situation in life, but if you do small things wrong, how are you gonna expect to do all the big important things right? That doesn't make sense. So make sure you handle the smaller things, then the bigger things will fall in place. Another thing about me is I always ask questions. I never leave a classroom, I never leave an interview, I never leave a conversation unless I know everything I wanted to know and unless I'm very clear on all the things they just said. And I read this series of books and I listen to this author named Jocko Willing, and he actually says something that I kind of want to share with y'all as well. So what he said was, don't ever be left with any doubts or questions. Better to be ignorant for a moment rather than for life. If you don't understand something, simply ask. And I feel like that's something so big for many people. I feel like just in life in general or anything that you go through, I feel like people are so afraid to tell other individuals that they don't understand or they don't know something. And I always pride myself in, if I don't understand something or if I don't know what you're talking about, I'm gonna let you know that, or I'm not gonna start something unless I know 100% of what you're talking about, because it clears all the ambiguity and it makes things better. Because I personally, like, if I'm talking to somebody and if I'm sharing something with you and you don't understand and you continue to go with the conversation and then I reference back to it and you like, huh? That's like kind of like frustrating for me. So I always make sure that if you tell me something and I don't understand, I'm gonna look at you like, nah, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you please elaborate on it more? Or can you please re-explain what you were trying to say? All right, question number 5. If you could have any job in the world without worrying about the idea of compensation, what would you do? The crazy part is, I would still play football if the idea of compensation and working for money was still out of it. I feel like ever since I was little, I always wanted to be a football player. I always loved the idea of football, what it taught me, the toughness that it instilled in me and everything. I feel like the game kind of changed for people to kind of want to play it just to support their lifestyles and just because of the fame and everything that it brings. But ever since I was little, the love of the game always stayed the same for me. Yeah, it was tough times where I'm like, dang, I don't know if I want to continue to do this, or I don't know if it's going to work out for me. But I always managed to get back to what it was and just look at the game for the love in it and not just what it offers. Another thing I'll probably do is I'll probably be a teacher or a mentor. And the biggest thing with that is I'll probably teach like people younger than me what things that I've learned on my journey about credit, about buying your first car, about doing little jobs like Instacart and things like that and making easy money as far as those type of aspects. But I just want to be a resource for people younger than me, because I feel like a lot of those professions as mentors, school counselors and things, they might not be compensated in the amount of money that they deserve, but at the same time, they're so valuable for young men growing up now in this generation, because we deal with a lot of stress, mental health issues, and all these different things. However, we have no outlet to seek for those type of people. And I feel like the sphere and that job area kind of lacks all the necessary men that could provide that support, because it's not like a super high paying job. It's not getting paid millions of dollars or hundreds and thousands of dollars. Those people are actually sacrificing way more than what they should, because their importance is so high, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's something I'll definitely do. And that's something, even if I'm playing in the NFL or regardless of what I'm doing, that's something I also want to provide to young men now in our generation as well. All right, question number 6. What are your goals for 2022? All right, that's a simple one. To stay consistent, persistent, and positive. Talking about consistency, I started like a lot of new things in 2022 that I didn't do previously in my life. I cut out red meat from my diet. I stopped eating pork, which I didn't really eat pork that much anyway. And I just wanted to stay in tune with that. Like, I want to make sure that my health was at a priority, like it always is. And I want to kind of change my diet up from what I ate before, start to eat more clean and cut out things that I felt like my body didn't really need. So that's something that I also wanted to do. Another thing is I went out on a limb and started doing this YouTube stuff and creating content for you guys. It was something I always wanted to do, but I never had a chance to actually do it. Like, I never wanted to like step out my comfort zone. It's like, all right, let's go get a camera or even record it on my phone and just get content pushed out to you guys, regardless of the type of feedback I get back. Like, so far you guys been sending me a lot of motivational things, like for me to keep going and keep on dropping content, and I really appreciate you guys. But like, at first I'm like, what if nobody don't watch what I'm saying? What if they don't like what I'm saying? So now I'm just kind of getting more of a mode that I'm getting comfortable to share, you know, all my thoughts and my ideas with you guys, and that's something I'm very comfortable with. Another thing is positivity. Like, right now I'm in Florida. It's perfect because it's like perfect weather, it's new people, it's a new environment, and I just want to keep this positivity flowing all year, because at the end of the day, things are gonna happen this year that I necessarily don't have a plan for. It's gonna be like, wow, like it just popped up and it's like, all right, you either react to it or you fold. And I know that's coming, but at the same time, I have all the rights to just handle that in the best possible way I can. Yeah, it might not be how I planned, or it might be something that pops up out of nowhere, but I need to remain calm and just remain positive and just handle the situation as it comes. And you can't really get upset or discouraged when something pops up. So that's the 3 things that I'm kind of focusing on, and those 2 specifically for 2022. Question number 7. Ignore my thumb. It looks like 8. That's 7. Why did you end up choosing Rutgers to go to school? That was actually a very, very popular question throughout the whole little message thing that y'all sent me. Well, I came into college 2017. According to all those different recruiting sites that really don't matter when you get to college, I was a 4-star recruit coming from the Baltimore, Maryland area. And I think I finished like with like 37, 40 offers or whatever the case may be. And I created a top school list, but quite frankly, everybody that do that, I feel like you got a feeling of where you actually want to go. And I visited a ton of other schools. I went to California to go to Stanford. I visited Cal, USC, and a whole bunch of other schools, but something about Rutgers just really felt right. And like I said, I was born in New Jersey, so it was kind of a no-brainer as well, because I'm a family-oriented person. Like, I'm a mama's boy. It's only 2 of us, it's me and my older sister. So I wanted to make sure that my family could always come to my games. My nephew was like about 1 year old at the time, and I wanted him to make sure he could just, you know, ride 45 minutes to an hour to come see his uncle play. So that was something that influenced my decision. All right, question number 8. The last question. If you had one wish, what would that one wish be and why? That's actually a very good one. But if I had one wish, I would probably wish that my family could do whatever they wanted to do or whatever they loved to do without worrying about the idea of money being a factor. I feel like I said, I mentioned before, I think in another question, like I feel like a lot of people do things that they don't necessarily love just because it supports their lifestyle or it pays their bills or it looks cool. And growing up, I know I ended up doing things that I love. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing football. I love talking about football. I like the idea of football. I love school. So I'm doing everything that I love to do. But I feel like I observed so many individuals doing things that they don't necessarily love. And that was always kind of like disturbing for me. So when I make it to a point where I make enough income and enough money, or if I had a wish in this instance to have the ability to change that, I would make sure that my family is just straight and they could do everything that they absolutely love to do and wouldn't care about money because everything else is already settled for them. So if that was one wish I would have, I would definitely wish for that. But all right, y'all, I just want to say thank you for watching, and those are my 8 questions that I decided to pick from the selection that you guys gave me. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out the video that should be dropping in the next 2 or 3 days on day 2. And yeah, stay tuned. But peace, Sean out.